So I'm back again with another spread in my altered book journal. And well, the light's fading, but I'm hoping I can get in a quick video. Art is my reward, and I had some studying to do today, so I didn't allow myself to do any art until I'd finished my studying. So I finished it, so I can do a bit of arting. So today I'm doing a complete experiment, and this time, instead of using Quink, I'm using Gouache as my base layer, with the idea that it's not water fast, so if I put gesso on, it should activate it in the same way, and I can get some shading going on. So I came up with this idea after chatting with my arty friend Laura Kay. So this morning I was sitting in the bath texting via Instagram to Laura, who's in the States. Isn't it amazing, technology? And we had a sort of chat, a texting chat, and yeah, it was really lovely. So anyway, I said I'd try this, and I'm going to. So I've just been using these Reeves gouache, and I don't know how they're going to behave when I start putting the gesso on, but it will be fun to see. So on this page I've left in, because I'm feeling in quite a good mood today, so I'm rolling with it. On this page, oh look, it's gone all dark. I don't quite know what's happening there. Back again, bit of a technical. Oh, it's probably because we're losing light. But anyway, one thing I will say is that the colours are not quite the same as they are in my book. You're seeing them as more sort of orangey, but mine is sort of a red, and then a purple, and then a sort of brown. And this brown is the same colour as that one. But anyway, it doesn't really matter for what we're going to do. The idea is that the words in here, which it probably won't focus on, oh, there you go. They say she was always very full of mischief. So, and I just had an idea of a girl holding, maybe letting go of a bird. I might find a picture of a bird to collage on there, or I might dare to try and draw one. I don't know yet, but for the time being I'm going to start doing her face and see how far we get. So that's the plan, and I'll be back in a minute. So it's quite interesting that it's not quite like using Quink. It's more difficult to control, and it's interesting. It's quite interesting how it's sort of shading. It's behaving in a different way, and also you might notice that I've been lifting some of the paint off of here, and you can see the text coming through. Now I quite like that, so that actually excites me. It makes me think, oh yes, I like this, I'm going to do more of this. But obviously if you didn't want that to happen, I don't know, you'd have to think about something else. But I'm going to let this dry now, because what I want to do next is maybe come in with pencil and fine-tune some of these marks and then do another layer and see what that does. And also I'm fighting against the light here, so I think I'll just have to call it a day and come back tomorrow. But it's fun, isn't it? It's interesting. Who knows what it's going to do. So the light is much better now, and this is completely dried. So it will be interesting to see what happens now, because I'm presuming that any gesso on here will have dried impervious, but where there is a bit of gouache, like here, and maybe bits of the hair, then maybe that can be reactivated on the second coat. I don't know. I'm going to see what happens. So I'm thinking that I'm going to continue with my water and white gesso, playing around with that. I'm going to take a bit of colour from this red. It's looking much better now. The colour is matching the colour that I see in my book now, I think. Although, not quite. This one is more of a purpley maroon colour in my book, in real life. But anyway, I'm going to take a bit of the red to use on the lips, that sort of thing. I like the way that the red is merging into her hair. And another idea I had is that I might even get some Quink and use the Quink for the very darks, and see what that does, because I'm just going to have messy fun and just see what happens. Also, I've got some pencils that I'm going to use, which have come from this Conte à Paris, various pencils, and this one is Carbon, which I'm thinking is graphite, charcoal, but it doesn't actually say charcoal, but it's very soft and smudgy. And this one, which is just sanguine, it's just a pencil. It has a very nice colour, and it does activate with water, although I'm not sure if it's an actual watercolour. It could be. It's very soft. So, yep, I've got my coffee, which is plunger coffee. I'm missing my my soy lattes, which I used to love with espresso coffee. Sitting in a cafe with a friend. Oh well, those were the old days. Now I'll share my coffee with you guys. Cheers. Tastes pretty good actually. Hummingbird coffee, which is a local brand. I hope they're doing all right and weathering the lockdown. But yes, so I will start playing around with this, and you'll see it speeded up probably in the next segment. So I've been working on it, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you know what? It's turning into that gouache thing where you put paint down and then you go to put a bit more paint down and then you lift the paint underneath it, and I don't know. I don't really like it. I don't mind the quink, because I suppose with the quink you lift it and you drop it, you lift it and you drop it, and you sort of do it all and then it's done. Whereas with this, it's kind of, now I've left it to dry and I need to do a bit more work because I'm not happy with the contours and things, and I'm very much not happy with the colour of his skin. But it's so hard to change it. So my next idea is, what would happen if I used clear gesso and let that dry? That would be like a layer sealing it in. Then I could go back on top with acrylic. So I've been over with clear gesso, and before it dries I just want to show you what it looks like, because it's gone, it's a bit like giving it a glaze. It's kind of blurred the edges. I did it, I applied it with a big brush and I just dabbed it because I didn't want to disturb underneath too much, and it's given it a kind of a weird kind of glazy look, which is quite nice actually. It's kind of blended some of the colours in. Yeah, so let all of it dry and then I can come back and continue. So I've done a bit of blending. The clear gesso has dried, and I've gone in with this and smudged it up a bit. And I stopped myself going too far before I was showing you what I was doing. I got a bit carried away. So I quite like the way it's all now going sort of blurry, and but I find myself wanting very much to go back in with a bit more highlight, and I also find myself wanting to go in with this charcoal and make this kind of dark. I don't know why, but I just want to go into her hair now, so I'm just going with it because this is my journal and I'm just going to go and see. So here's the finished page. I'll try and get it a bit closer. Maybe it will go into focus in a minute. There she is. You can see I've been doing some line work with a liner pen. Yeah, she was not as much fun as this girl. And I put that down to the gouache, and it's just reminded me of something that I knew, and that I don't really enjoy working with gouache. I don't know what it is. I was trying to think about what it is that I don't like, and I think it's the feel of it when you're painting. It feels kind of, I don't know, it feels sort of rough. I don't know. And the fact that once you've put a layer down, anything you put over the top will reactivate that layer so it blends, and it's probably because I'm not very practiced with it, but I can't control it very well and I don't like it. So anyway, I carried on and I turned this into something I'm quite happy with, except this arm, you can't see it too well, you can't see the colour too well, but I did try to match that to her face. So I was putting layers of white gesso, and then I was putting layers of this colour. And even now it's not quite there, so I'm not too happy. So yeah, it's basically saying let your creativity help you find freedom, and it certainly does for me. And I was very absorbed while I was doing this, and I wasn't thinking too much about my current troubles, so it did the job. I don't think I'll be going back to gouache in a while. I'll be trying something else, but I'm glad I tried this technique. It does have a sort of glow to it, the face, but it wasn't so much fun getting there, and it certainly took a lot longer. So anyway, there it is. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again for my next video. Do feel very welcome to leave comments. A thumbs up is always good. You can share and like, and that would be awesome. And share some of your work. I'd love to see it. And hope to see you again soon. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.